Now, the protagonist in this game is no other than one of my favorite characters of the series, no other than Leon Kennedy. Now, this version of Leon Kennedy, he seems a lot darker, more out for vengeance than anything else. You can see the wear and tear on his body. This version of Leon reminds me of no other than Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. When you've been in the game for a minute, this ain't nothing new to you. And Leon has been fighting the infected for over 10 years in Raccoon City and around other places in the world. And Leon became very effective and efficient, eliminating the infected by any means necessary. Any of them and their kind that cross paths of Leon Kennedy, he's sending you straight to hell. And anyone that involved in this outbreak, I advise you to do the same. Get the hell out of town. Now, when I was playing Grace, the whole time I felt like I was in over my head. You know, I was in survival mode the whole time, but I felt like death around every corner. Now, the protagonist in Silent Hill F is no other than Young Hentiko. And now, if I messed that name up, I apologize. Young Hentiko, a schoolgirl traveling along with her 3 friends, you know, trying to survive. And as young Hentiko traveled through this strange town covered with fog and these red bugs, you know, I love the way she run. It kind of reminds me of watching a Chinese, Japanese action movie. You know how they running, but they're not really running. You know how they going through the motion, you know, and they're not really giving it a real effort. I like that little touch that they put into the game. To me, I thought that was very unique and very true to their culture. As playing at Hentiko, the whole time in the game, I felt like I was in survival mode. And now in Silent Hill F, it's like 2 different worlds. For the sake of everything, I would call the second world the Matrix. You know, like red pill, blue pill. But in the Matrix, it was very unique. You know, I could not really tell what was real and what was just fantasy. Also, in this world, you had access to a unique weapon and also special ability, among other things. And now when I am in the Matrix, I feel less vulnerable because my attacks are a lot stronger and more swift and they do more damage. In the regular world, I will always, like I was saying earlier, I was in survival mode. And now back to the Matrix, my sanity bar allowed me to hack into more powerful attacks and also unique ability as well. And now when it comes to visual, Silent Hill F is a beautiful and well-balanced game. I love everything about the game, including the town. The town looks very unique and very original, as well as the character. I love the design of the character, the clothing of the character, and also I wish that when I first played the game that I wasn't in survival mode, because in survival mode I'm just running for my life. And there's so much of the town that I did not get to explore. So that means I will have to play the game again so I can explore all the places I might have missed. And now, when it comes to the visual for Resident Evil, it just was stunning, especially what they did with the lighting effects. And I love that this Resident Evil is not all dark like the other Resident Evil. And now, just check out the lighting and the shadow effects on the police squad car. That was just simply amazing. Little detail to attention, the little things like that, it just means a lot to me, and I truly appreciate it. They actually took time and put effort into this game. This game is probably the best looking Resident Evil game that I ever had played. But I will say this, you know, as I continued to play the game, you know, it started to turn to a typical Resident Evil. You know, some part of the game that I thought it kind of stayed around too long, some segment was a little bit too long. And now I just had to put that out there. Now back to the visual. In this game, the art design was just stunning. And the character design was on point. As I stated earlier, let me correct myself. This is the best looking Resident Evil game that I ever played. I just wish that the story was just a little bit better. But I will get a story a 9.0. And also, I wish it was a little appearance of Trish Redfield. You know what I'm saying? When I first played Grace, it's sudden events in the game that had me scream several times. I thought I had to go change my growls, but after all that, I was okay. And now, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to Leon Kennedy, this version of Leon Kennedy, he is totally different from when he first appeared and Resident Evil 2, 4, and 6. It's like now, instead of being in survival mode, he in action mode. He done joined the big boys. Like Barry and Chris Redfield. And now all that aspect of being a rookie on the team, this is a man that is on a mission. All that rookie has evaporated. This is a man on a search for the cure for the T-virus, and any infected that's standing his way, oh man, you're gonna pay. And now Leon Kennedy, with this hand-to-hand, man, he is nasty. He's ferocious. He's very vicious, and that is nice. I love seeing Leon taking care of business. And now, when it comes to that, gunplay, he's just magnificent, outstanding. Now, this Leon, he on the same level as I stated earlier as Chris Redfield and Barry. He are taking name, and that's all it is to it. And now I might be a little biased because Leon Kennedy always has been my favorite character in the Resident Evil series ever since Resident Evil 2. You had to know. Now, I truly like the character Hentiko in this game, but in every battle, it seemed like I was outmatched because I only had a blunt weapon to attack with. And sometimes that did not go too well, especially when I had multiple enemies engage me at the same time. That's when the desperation really kicked in. Now, Hentiko had two different types of attack. She had a light attack and a heavy attack. Oh boy, let me tell you, when that heavy attack connect, I made sure that it counted. And now, back in the Matrix, that's where you have all the mini boss and the main boss at. And them is some of the toughest fight that I fought in the game. Now, let me correct myself. Now, there are bosses in the regular world, but all the main bosses is in the Matrix. And there is some of the toughest fight that I fought. And that when desperation really kicked in, I was at Desperation Station. And some boss I had to fight multiple times because having a blunt weapon against a big boss is really difficult sometimes. Because you have to keep your eye on your stamina, your sanity, and your minimal, very small dodge window. And you got to be careful. A boss can take you out with only 2 hits. And then you had to start all over. The boss fight and the exploration in the Matrix, that is one of my favorite parts of the game. But as I stated earlier, the boss fight can be difficult when you only have a blunt weapon. But as you continue to the game, you get better weapons in the Matrix as well as the real world. But I will say one thing, if you drop a weapon, you better make damn sure that is the weapon that you want to drop. Because once you drop it, you better say bye, 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 because it is gone. It ain't no do-over. One time, I was running around the world with no weapon at all, and only with my barrel hand. And let me tell you, that was very stressful, just trying to survive. And one thing about this game, you better make sure that you manage your space, because you got limited space to hold items. So you got to choose, like I stated earlier, either hold on to it or to drop it. And like I stated earlier, if you drop it, it's gone forever. And the same thing applies to item. That is my only gripe about this game. I would give this game a 9.3. She's far from perfect, but I truly enjoyed this game. And now, if you are a fan of Silent Hill, you shouldn't miss out on this one, because I truly enjoyed this game. And now that's all I got to say about that. On to the next session. And now, anybody who play a Silent Hill game, you know the story is where it really at. And this game do not disappoint. And now for the story for this game, I got 3 words: strange, mysterious, and suspenseful, and very dark. I know I said 3. Well, hell, maybe I just can't count. So anyway, let's continue. This game threw me a curveball. I didn't figure out what was happening in the game until almost the last minute. By that time, my goose was cooked in the game. And I was like, something not right about this. So I thought it was a typical teenager game, rivals going at each other. But I must truly say, I really enjoyed the deception in this game. Oh my God, they got me good. And that is one of the reasons that I truly enjoyed this game. So the best thing I can tell you to make sure you read every little content you can get your hands on. I really love all aspects of this game. And this is the first Silent Hill game that I beat, and I would say is a must play. Anybody who like horror games, so check it out. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, is Resident Evil. And anybody who played a Resident Evil game, you know what Resident Evil is all about. It's about the horror. Yes, it's about the story, but it's mostly about the gameplay. And this right here, this is a solid Resident Evil game. The gameplay and action, to me, just stood out. The visual in this game was just marvelous. But it ain't a lot of people who play Resident Evil. Most of them play just only for the action. Because I heard several people talk about the game, and I wonder I wonder how they come to that conclusion about the game. But to make a long story short, every game is not for everybody. But this Resident Evil is on point. The action is one of the best action RPG. I lied. I mean Resident Evil game that I have played, and I have played them all. I would say this is easy in my top 5 Resident Evil. And this is a must play. And Leon, you stepped it up, buddy. Leon, this is Leon I've been waiting to play. Alrighty, people, if you get a chance, pick it up. Alrighty then. And now, boys and girls, that's all I got for Capcom versus Konami. And for those of y'all who still sticking around, I truly appreciate it. Y'all come by and check out my video. But don't worry, more content is coming soon. Now tell a friend, share and like and subscribe. And until next time, say